The Forever Purge is now the 5th film in this franchise. It also now includes 2 seasons of TV shows. This film, the 5th installment, stars Ana de la Guerra, Josh Lucas, and Tenoch Huerta, and takes place really in El Paso, Texas. As once the official 12-hour purge happens, there are many groups of people who want to do the Forever Purge, which continues the purge forever post the original set of purge, where crimes are illegal for 12 hours. The film is an hour 43 and rated R. My name is Max. Welcome to a brand new movie review here in Max Talk Please. Today we're talking for the Forever Purge. Tell me, do you like this franchise or not? And if you've already seen the movie, tell me, do you like the film, and where would you rank it in the rest of the franchise? If you've not seen the film, tell me, do you even like the Purge franchise? And will you check this one out this weekend? Only in theaters. Also, please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown show. So if you like any one of those things, consider subscribing and ringing the bell so you're notified when those videos drop. Without let's further ado, let's talk about the Forever Purge. This is a franchise that I've seen all of the movies once or twice. I'm not a huge fan of the franchise. I did watch the season 1 of the TV show as well, so I know a lot about this franchise. And the idea of doing a Forever Purge seems like an interesting idea, how people don't want the 12 hours to be the only times where crime is legal, to keep that going. That idea itself is cool. And also the idea of using the immigration storyline really is one of the main political things they use in the film, with our 2 main immigrants played by Ana de la Guerra and Tenoch Huerta. So all of those things was really interesting heading into the movie. I did not really like all of the trailers, I would say. I was pretty like, this is just another Purge movie. And that's how the franchise has really felt with these movies. You kind of just keep telling yourself that these are just another Purge movie. And the last one, which is called The First Purge, was a prequel. I thought that was just average. I liked our main character, the main actor, a lot, and there were some fun action things. But when you think about the story of this movie, of the past movie, it wasn't that good. But I had some hopes because the Purge can be fun at times. And let me talk about the Forever Purge in positive fashion first. First of all, our 2 main characters, really, not Josh Lucas' storyline, but the storyline between Adela and her husband, Juan, was easily the best characters in the entire film. Now, are they great characters? I don't really think so. I don't think they're great characters. But with the rest of the film, they really seem like great characters because the rest of the characters surrounding them are not that interesting. There are some nice action set pieces in the film. And for the most part, the film looks really great. And now, I've seen Purge movies, just like the last couple. At times, the movie feels like a mixture of amazing set pieces and great cinematography. And then it comes off as cheap half the time. I'll talk about that in my negatives in a little bit with the cheapness of the film at times. But it does, some of the locations are quite beautiful. This ranch that we're on for the first act is really nice to look at. As we go through El Paso and we look at all of the chaos, it's also very nice to look at as well. So the film is quite nice to look at for the most part. I was also just never bored during the entire film, which is, yes, a good thing if you're heading into a Purge movie. It's not super boring, I would say, compared to the other ones, but it's still not great. But the film, again, I wasn't really checking my clock at all during the film. I was just watching the film as it is. And it's only an hour 40, so it's an easy watch time. But again, the film also has some really cool designs when you get to the actual Forever Purgers. You don't get a lot of them, but there's, especially the first scene where you get to see them, there's some really cool designs with those characters who want to be the Forever Purgers. But without further ado, I'll maybe tie in some more positives when I talk about my negatives. We have to talk about the negatives, and that's that I really did not like this movie. And this is coming from someone who, again, I've seen all the Purge movies. I've seen the TV show. I still don't like this franchise. And this, for me, is another cherry on top of hopefully this franchise dying, as there's been a lot of reports that this is indeed the last Purge film. I'll believe until I see it, because these movies are made very much on the cheap for a lot of money on opening weekend that make these films and shows happen. And this mostly, out of all the other films, has the hardest time balancing its political subtext and its cheesy action horror, because the last movie, The First Purge, really tried to do that, but not too much. It was really the first act that really talked about it, how the idea of the Purge was going after these poor minority races, and that's how the Purge started. That was in the last movie. The previous movie was election year, and now this one more than anyone, more than any of the films, it's political subtext. It tackles so many different political subtexts, and it goes so generic and so brief on it. It's just talked about. White supremacy is talked about. Racism is brought up throughout the entire film. The class structure is brought up throughout the entire film. Immigration. There's so many political subtexts that are just thrown at you. And this is one where you're not sure if you're supposed to take the movie seriously or supposed to have fun watching the movie, because the movie doesn't know what it wants to be. That's truthfully how I felt watching the movie. The film, this franchise with this movie clearly has no idea what it's making anymore, because if you go back to the very first movie, The Purge, it was basically a at-home horror movie at a particular house. Was it that great? No, but that's what it was. Then it got blended into some action horror in the second one, Anarchy, which is, in my opinion, clearly the best one in the franchise. But since then, they've gone heavy into the action, not that much horror. And this movie, by the way, tries so much to be scary because it has so many false jump scares. It's one of the most annoying jump scares I've ever seen in a movie this year. There's so many fake jump scares where maybe someone's walking down the hallway and then one of their other friends pops up and you got the huge boom in the theater and it's a jump scare. But some of the jump scares are so annoying. When I saw the first jump scare, I was like, that wasn't a good jump scare. Hope we never see those again. And then you see it 6 or 7 times throughout the film. And that's the problem. The film isn't scary at all. It's not even a horror categorized film. It shouldn't really be a horror categorized film anymore because these jump scares are so awful. And then the film also has, again, it doesn't know what it wants to be. It wants to take itself seriously and tell us all about and educate us on all these different political conversations that, yes, are very necessary to talk about. But you can't have all this political stuff going on and all these political satire and conversations going on and then have cheesy dialogue, cheesy action scenes. Someone dies in this movie with the Wilhelm scream. So I didn't know what to make of the movie because it had no idea what it was doing. I didn't know if it wanted to be serious, to be cheesy, to be funny, to be an action movie. It had all these different genres thrown at you, and it's just too much going on. Also, there are some awful actors in this movie. Not George Lucas, but there's an actor who's in a truck with 2 of our main characters who is so awful. It was so hard to watch this person in the movie. There's also the forgettable villain who they don't even introduce until the last 30 minutes of the movie, who is, of course, chasing after our main heroes. That villain, who knows who he is? You can't even remember his name. You don't know why he's chasing after them. He's just chasing after them because he wants to kill them. That's kind of what it is. And you don't get why everyone is embracing the Forever Purge. You kind of get why this one person, the first person we meet, who is joining this plan, the Forever Purge, is going after the Josh Lucas family. But other than that, you don't get why the entire world is joining this. They don't really explain how this got created. It just happens. And if you're here to see a Purge movie where we're watching a movie during the Purge, that doesn't happen in this movie as well. The first 15 minutes of the movie really is a day before the Purge and the Purge. You don't get any action really during the Purge. The movie really does kick into form or kick into action once the Purge is over. And a lot of people might be very disappointed with that, but people think it's a cool idea. I'm just tell you what to expect going in. So overall, I really did not like this movie. It has some terrible dialogue at times where they're trying to be so serious and my entire theater was cracking up when they were delivering some serious lines. That's how kind of bad the dialogue is in the movie. You have some good action set pieces. The film looks good, but it doesn't know what it wants to be. So I'm going to give this film a 1.5 out of 5, guys. I'm going to give this film a 35%. It's definitely, for me, one of the worst films, top, at least in the 10 worst films of the year so far. I don't think it's awful, but I do think it's really not a good movie. I know some people are being pleasantly surprised by the film. I'm jealous of you. I wanted to be there, but I just had no idea what the movie wanted to be, and that's why it's dropping so low. So that's my thoughts on the Forever Purge. Please like, subscribe, share. More reviews coming, so ring the bell if you want to see more of my movie reviews. Click right to my right for a playlist.